Hello and welcome. My name's Hannah and in today's video I'm going to be trying out the new Kind and Free range from Rimmel London, which is their clean beauty range. It comes with a skin tint, a concealer, a mascara and a pressed powder. I also think that they have nail polish in this range, but we're going to be sticking to the face products today. I also have a couple of other new bits to try. So I have the Revlon Kiss Glow Lip Oils and I've got 3 different shades in that. I also have some eyeshadow palettes from Beauty Bay. They were half price except for this one. So I went a little bit crazy and I got 4. I'm obviously not going to be using all of these today, but I'll show you the different palettes and the insides and then pick one to use on my eyes. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get into the video. Okay, so a little bit more about the Kind and Free range. So this is 100% vegan and cruelty free. It is free from mineral oils and fragrance, so good for sensitive skin. The packaging of each product also has a percentage of recycled materials, and on the website Rimmel says that by 2025 they want 100% of their products to be recyclable, reusable or compostable, which is great. So I think the first thing we're gonna dig into is the skin tint. And I have this in the shade 10 Rose Ivory. This comes in 12 shades, which for a skin tint isn't horrendous, but also isn't great. It is supposed to hydrate, blur imperfections, moisturize. I think what I'm gonna do is just put a little bit on the back of my hand and then blend it in with my fingers on this side and then a brush on this side, just to see what we like better. So already I can see this is like a little bit too orange for me, which is why a bigger shade range would be better, but I think it'll work. Doesn't look like it's got a huge amount of coverage, though it is covering this up quite well. Let's get a brush and just blend in the rest with that and then go over it with my wet beauty sponge to make sure we haven't got any lines. Yeah, I think I like it better with the brush. It's slightly thicker than other skin tints, not as watery, so yeah, I like it with the brush. And you can see it hasn't given a huge amount of coverage, but it has definitely covered this spot up and this spot up a little bit more than they otherwise would be. I have definitely broken out this week. Wet sponge, blend it, blend it. So that's that all blended in. It's covered a little bit. Definitely does feel like it's moisturized. We'll see how that sets down and go on to the concealer before we do anything else. So this is a hydrating concealer and it doesn't have a huge amount of other information on there, so we'll just start putting it on. I also have this in the shade 10 Fair. This only comes in 6 shades, which to be honest, for a concealer, I would expect more shades than a skin tint, and I would definitely want to see more shades in this. You don't get a lot of product on the applicator, which is not my favorite, but we'll see what the formula's like. Gonna let that sink in for a second before blending out, and I think I'm gonna do fingers on this side and then sponge on this side. So you can see the difference here and here. It's definitely a light coverage concealer, which is kind of what I was expecting because it is paired with a skin tint and it does say that it's hydrating, but we'll blend it in with the sponge on this side and see if we can get more coverage. I'm gonna put another layer on. It also just feels like it's sitting rather than sinking in, but maybe I just need to give it some time. Personally, for me, that's not giving enough coverage. It's very lightweight. It feels hydrating, but it is very natural. Yeah, that's not doing a lot for the acne. So I'm just gonna go in with my Collection Lasting Perfection Stretch Concealer and just pop that on my spots here and here because yeah, that isn't gonna do it. Yeah, so far not my favorite. We'll see how it holds up throughout the day, but There's not a huge amount there already, so I don't have a lot of hope. The skin tint still looks quite nice. That does feel like it's dried down and sunk into the skin, which is nice. It doesn't feel like it's going to transfer anywhere. So next we've got the translucent powder. This is a Healthy Look pressed powder. This is talc free and it only comes in one shade, translucent. And I'm just going to take a brush, go into the powder. There is a lot of kickback. Don't know if you can see that. Tap off a lot of the excess and go under the eyes. Oh, you can see how much the concealer has settled into my lines there. And I mean, all concealers do, but this is quite bad. So we're just going to tap that out. That is that under the eyes. I mean, it hasn't added any coverage because it's translucent, which is fair enough. It has set down the concealer, which is nice. I'm not a fan of that concealer. I mean, it has hardly covered anything. I have quite pronounced dark circles, and it is one of those things that I really like to cover up, so I'm not the biggest fan of the concealer. But let's put the powder on the rest of the face. Quite a lightweight powder, has set down my makeup, hasn't made it look very powdery. I don't think it's added a glow, but it definitely hasn't taken the glow away, which is good. And hopefully it will just help with the longevity of my makeup. So we are going to check in at the end of the day just to see how everything has worn. Before we move on to the mascara, I am just going to do bronzer and highlight and then come back to do blush because I have a couple of new blushes to try, and I will be right back. Okay, so we've gone for quite a subtle bronzer and highlighter because we're not going for anything crazy in the look today. I have two new blushes that I picked up that I wanted to try. First is the Honey blush from No.7. It's just like a really nice neutral everyday sort of a shade for me and my skin tone. Yeah, you can't really see it a huge amount showing up on my hand because it is just meant to be a little subtle something for every day, and I think I'll probably go with that. The other blush I have is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in the shade Always Cheeky, and I haven't opened this up yet, so let's do that. So that's what that one looks like. Much more orange, but blends out nicely on the skin. I have another shade in this formula and it is very nice, so I think this is probably a little bit more summery, so let's go for the No.7 one. Okay, so that turns up on the skin a lot more than I thought it would, which is good. Yeah, I like that subtle, nice, everyday shade. So next up, I think I'm going to do my eyes, and I'm going to show you the palettes that I got from Beauty Bay. As I said, these were half price. Beauty Bay does sales on their own products quite often, so it's always good if you're curious about the formula to pick up palettes then. This one is new, so this one was not half price, but it was still really cheap. It was still only like £6 something. This is the Golden Age palette, and this is a £9 palette. Here are the shades. I'm going to swatch a couple, so I'm going to do this top one, this one. They feel nice and creamy, which is great. Oh, they're lovely. Oh, I particularly like this shade. This is nice. Also, just because it's going to be incredibly satisfying. Amazing. Okay, we have the 9 colour palette in Nude Matte, and I got this one because I thought it would be a really lovely travel palette if you just want all of your neutral shades in one place, and that's what it looks like there, and that's what it looks like on the inside. I think I'll probably go for this one today. Let's swatch a couple of these as well. So I'm going to go for Throwback here, Slow Motion, and this one here, which is Cinnamon. Very nice. They feel really lovely. Next one is the Nude 16 color palette. It looks like this, and this is what it looks like on the inside. You've got 2 rows of mattes except for this shade, and then 2 rows of shimmers. Let's swatch this one, this one, this one, this one. Finally, I got this 16 color palette in the shade Fiery. This is what it looks like on the outside. This is what it looks like on the inside. I'm gonna swatch this one, this one, this one, and this one. I think what I'm going to do is go into the nude matte palette, and I'm just going to do something really simple on the eyes because this is a very low-key, everyday sort of a look. What I'm going to do first is just put this shade all over the lid. And then I'm going to take a fluffy blending brush and I'm going to go in with raw sienna there, and then probably cinnamon afterwards, just to put into the crease and then deepen up the crease slightly. You can see, that still the concealer is creasing. I don't like that concealer. Nope. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to go into shade Cinnamon, just deepen up the crease. And then I'm gonna take the shade Slow Motion and just with a angled brush like this, do almost just a tiny wing on the outer corner there. Actually, first what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with Bare Necessity and just put it across my whole lid and then do Slow Motion as a tiny wing right on the outer corner. So little wing turned into a big wing, and they are definitely not even on both sides. So next up we've got the Kind and Free mascara from Rimmel, and this is a lengthening mascara with 100% bio-based brush fibers, clump-free, smudge-proof and water-resistant, which lasts up to 36 hours. I'm not going to be wearing this for 36 hours, but we will see if it's lasted by the end of the day. This is in the shade Black, but they also have a brown black as well. So it has lengthened to an extent. You don't get a huge amount coming off on the brush, which I guess helps it be clump free, but it is making it difficult to deposit a huge amount on the lashes. Also ignore my face, going incredibly red under the skin tint. I don't know why it's doing that. So let's go in for a second coat on both sides and do the bottom lashes, and then we'll check back in. So that is 2 coats on the top, 1 coat on the bottom. It dried down quite quickly, so it was a little bit tough to layer, but fine. It definitely didn't clump up when I put a second layer on. They look quite natural. They are lengthened, they are separated. I think if it doesn't smudge all day and it does stay put, then it could be quite a nice everyday mascara, because it does make my lashes look like themselves but slightly better. So we'll just have to see how that lasts, I think, throughout the day. And then finally we have the Revlon Kiss Glow Lip Oils. I have this in 3 shades. They're very difficult to read. Nuditude, Beaming Brown, and Glow Up Rose. And I'll swatch all 3 on the lips and on the hand just so you can see what they look like. But I'm very excited for these. I feel like if these are good, they could be my new everyday staples. Glowed Up Rose, Nuditude, Beaming Brown at the bottom there. I think what I'm going to do is put on Nuditude because I think it'll fit the look a little bit better, but let's swatch the other 2 first on the lips to see what they look like. So Glowed Up Rose. Very nice, definitely has a little bit of shimmer in there. Beaming Brown, a little bit more of an intense color, but really nice. They feel really nice and hydrating on the lips. And then finally, Nuditude, which is definitely my favorite. It's just nice, subtle, hydrating. I really like that. That's really nice. Okay, so that is everything I have to try today. Please ignore the fact that my face has decided to do this. It just does that sometimes. I'm gonna wear this all day. I'm gonna check in the evening and let you know how everything has worn. But my thoughts as of now are, I really don't like this concealer. I feel like it's very thin, which is hydrating, but it creases, it doesn't give you a lot of coverage, hardly anything, very, very light coverage. I probably won't be using this one again. The moisturizing skin tint, it definitely has covered up a bit. It feels nice, moisturizing, sunk into the skin nicely. We'll just see how it lasts throughout the day. The mascara, actually, I am quite enjoying. It does look very natural, so it could be, as I said, if it doesn't smudge, a nice everyday mascara. The translucent powder is nice. It definitely gives you more of a healthy look. It doesn't cover up any of your glow, but it sets down your makeup. I really like this No.7 blush, very subtle, nice everyday. I loved the Beauty Bay eyeshadow palette. They are so good, they are so inexpensive, and I know that lots of other people recommend them as well, so definitely worth checking out, especially if they have a sale, to grab maybe a smaller palette just to see how you like it. But I really enjoyed that. The lip oils, really like these as well. I think these are great. They're not gonna last throughout the day because they are just a lip oil, but they feel lovely. So that is everything for now, and I will see you in a little bit. Okay, so it's been about 8 hours since I put the makeup on, and actually everything's held up quite nicely. So the eyeshadow's still looking really nice. There's still a little bit of blush on my skin. The lip oil has obviously come off, but my lips do feel really nice and soft and hydrated. The concealer, it's not my thing. I mean, there's still a little bit of creasing. It just didn't give me enough coverage. The skin tint looks really nice. The powder, I would say, not for under the eyes. It definitely emphasized a lot of my creasing and lines under my eyes, but on the rest of the face was really nice. The mascara actually hasn't really transferred or smudged. I think that's held up really well throughout the day. So I'm gonna have to give that more of a go because it was actually really nice. Just like a really nice everyday mascara that's gonna hold up. I'm gonna grab my makeup remover and just see how much foundation's left on the face. Yeah, so you can see that the skin tint is still on there, still got some coverage, still got some pigment on my face after 8 hours, which is really, really good for a skin tint. And I'm sure the powders helped with that longevity as well. So yeah, I'm gonna keep using the skin tint, I'm gonna keep using the powder, I'm gonna keep using the mascara, I'm gonna give the concealer a miss, and then everything else really enjoyed. So I think that is everything. If you liked this video, then please do give it a thumbs up. If you like me and you wanna see more videos from me, then please do hit that subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a video. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.